Why do some of our greatest battles happen right after our greatest victories? What would you do if you came home and everything you loved had become mere nightmares? David experienced that moment in 1 Samuel chapter 30. He and his 600 men returned to their home in Ziklag after battle, tired but hopeful. But as they approached the city, smoke filled the sky. Their homes were burned, their possessions gone, their wives and children captured. Imagine grown warriors collapsing in the ashes of what used to be their lives. The Bible says they wept until they had no more strength to weep. Have you ever cried until you felt empty? And then, as if the pain wasn't enough, the men began to blame David. They spoke of stoning him. Stop and think. The same men who followed him now wanted him dead. David had lost everything: family, security, reputation, support. But here is the turning point. The Bible says, "But David encouraged himself in the Lord his God." No prophet nearby, no worship band, no applause, just ashes and faith. Let me ask you something. When everyone walks away, can you encourage yourself in God? David called for the priest Abiathar and asked for the ephod. He didn't panic, he prayed. He didn't react, he inquired. Shall I pursue this raiding party? Will I overtake them? And God answered clearly, "Pursue, for you shall surely overtake them, and without fail recover all." Say that with me. Pursue, overtake, recover all. David rose with new fire in his eyes. He moved forward, not because he felt strong, but because God had spoken. On the way, 200 men became too exhausted to continue. Another setback. What would you do? Quit? Turn back? David pressed forward with 400. Sometimes not everyone can go where God is taking you. Along the journey, they found an abandoned Egyptian servant, sick and starving. Instead of ignoring him, David showed mercy. And that act of compassion became their breakthrough. The servant revealed the location of the Amalekite camp. Did you know your miracle can be hidden inside your mercy? They attacked at twilight. Swords clashed. Enemies scattered. Victory erupted. And the Bible says something powerful. Nothing was missing. Young or old, son or daughter, plunder or possession. David recovered all. Let that sink in. All. Not partial, not half. All. The enemies celebrated too soon, and someone watching this right now needs to hear this. The enemy may have touched it, but he cannot keep what God has promised you. But the story doesn't end there. When they returned to the 200 men who stayed behind, some warriors refused to share the spoil. But David declared a kingdom principle. The share of the one who stayed with the supplies is to be the same as that of him who went down to battle. Grace prevailed over greed. Unity replaced division. God didn't just restore possessions, He restored order. He restored dignity. He restored faith. Here is something amazing. Ziklag was burned, but David's calling was not. Sometimes God allows loss to position you for kingship. This was the last recorded crisis before David became king. The ashes were not the end. They were preparation. So here's my question for you. What has been burned in your life? What feels stolen, delayed, lost? Have you asked God whether it's time to pursue? Because when God says pursue, He backs you with power. When God says overtake, He provides strategy. When God says recover, nothing can stop it. If you believe God is restoring what the enemy tried to steal, comment, "Recover all." Like and share this video, and follow for more faith-inspiring Bible stories.